I want to bring you the word real quick in regards to the flood. And and we know that this is I'm going to say it based off the word. This is a man-made flood situation we see happening all over the world, as I have exposed their paperwork and cloud seeding, which is not just in Texas, but they have cloud seeding stations in 30-40% of this country, not to say HARP is also involved. We have, again, the cloud seeding is the biggest one, and it's a worldwide situation because Saudi Arabia and India overused it and flooded their people out too. So, as typology, we're going to take a look at what this means, and the reason why I do believe that this is not a God intended thing, but it is something that Satan is doing. Okay, so let's take a look at Revelations chapter 12, because we're talking about technology and the equipment that he has. Okay. And the serpent, verse 15, and the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away by the flood. So just as it was in the Old Testament, the king sent his soldiers around to kill all the firstborn males looking to kill Jesus Christ. So here you have, again, I think right now what we're looking at is a preview of what Satan is trying to do with his weather machines, and that's flood out, even during this grace age. But after the grace age, he's still going to be using these weather machines. Verse 16, and the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened up her mouth as an earthquake and swallowed up the flood, which the dragon had cast out of his mouth. So the enemy, now let's not forget that a lot of dams, or which they are not talking about here in this country, are being opened and destroyed on purpose, flooding out certain areas. That's Satan casting a water out of his mouth, because this is all being done by the government, which is the beast system. And Satan inspired man to create the government by the number 13. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which those that kept the commandments. This is how you know these are the Jews, because the Jews thought that the commandments made them saved. But in the beginning, up until Revelation chapter 12, they never believed in Jesus. They thought he's dead, because in their torment, they called for all Christians to be killed, until the word says they see him on a cloud, and then they mourn, or not mourn, but they are feeling bad now, because, oh my God, that's regret. We were wrong all this time. This is how you know who it's talking about. Okay, and at that moment, they had a testimony in Jesus Christ, which they never had until they see him on the cloud earlier in this chapter. So it says clearly, okay, the seed. This is the remnant, those which kept the commandments of God, the law. These are the Jews, folks, because the commandments of God are the law. These are the ones that are claiming Noahide laws now. But their hearts are changed when they see Jesus Christ on the cloud earlier in this chapter, folks. Okay, that's who this is. Because somebody has to repopulate the earth, and they're protected in the wilderness of Judea for the latter half of the tribulation. Because if we're changed and given heavenly bodies, we're not of the flesh anymore. So during that millennial reign, somebody has to repopulate the earth. Again, they started off in the wilderness 40 years, and they're going to end their journey with God in the wilderness. Typology, folks. All right, guys. Peace.